All right, that's week one in the books, and you can't ask for too much more. 47-14, and really the game felt like it was over with 5 minutes left in the first quarter when we went up 21-0. So, not necessarily a game you're going to learn a lot from. It is, Eastern Washington. They have had years in recent memory where they've been pretty good on offense, but they've never really had a very good defense. They've never really had a team that could compete at the highest level of college football. So, you just go out there, you eat your cupcake, and then you go back in and prepare for, you know, more serious games. But there were some interesting things to look out for because we lost a lot of players from last year. And I didn't know what we were getting with some of these guys. I know Jacob Eason has played college football before. I know he transferred from, I think, Georgia, but until you see him playing for your team in a real game, I just feel like you can't totally know. And today, he was absolutely the player of the game. Jacob Eason, you can immediately tell that the offense is going to be less limited than it was under Browning. And I like Jake Browning, but I'm happy to move on. I'm happy to move on to a quarterback who's more of a physical specimen and just has more things to work with. Like, it took less than 7 minutes, I think, for us to see that this dude has a cannon. This dude has a cannon that Browning can just never ever match. He can probably get the ball about 70 yards down the field. Tonight we didn't necessarily see that full 70 yards, but very early on we saw the 50-yard touchdown pass to Baselli, which it was great to see that so early because immediately my brain just went, oh my God, we can air it out now. We can get defenses over the top. Couldn't really do that with Browning. And um, and I don't want to sound like I'm just bashing on Browning all the time because we did have a successful deep ball offense when we had John Ross, but especially as his career went on, it just felt like our ability to hit, long passes just completely went out the door. And here, Eason is working with a lot of the same players that Browning had, and the offense just feels different. Like for that first drive, I saw us have the, training wheels on Easton. I was like, oh, is it going to be one of those years? But as this game went on, he made some great throws down the field. Both touchdowns to Aaron Fuller were awesome. Aaron Fuller had a monster game too, by the way. A couple of awesome touchdown catches. He had a couple plays where he spun away from pressure and found receivers down the field while getting hit. He took a little bit of abuse in this game, and it didn't seem to phase him at all. Like, it was just an awesome, awesome game from Eason. And even though it's against competition that you can't learn a lot from, you can at least see him look like the kind of quarterback who he can be the reason why you win a game. Jake Browning was good, but I don't think he was ever the reason why we won games. We won games because he drove the bus. So that's exciting. Also exciting, Hunter Bryant. We haven't seen as much of Hunter Bryant recently as we would have liked, and 6 catches today led the team. Good game from Hunter. Wide receiver, tight end hybrid. That's going to be important. And Chico McClatcher, good to see him get heavily involved in the receiving game. 5 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Just a lot of weapons on this offense that I felt like we didn't really have last year. These guys are 1 year older and 1 year more capable. And today, I kind of felt it. Like last year, I don't think those guys would have been able to make that big of an impact in a game, even a game against a team like the Eastern Washington Eagles. So, passing attack is on point. Rushing attack, I need to see more. Obviously, Richard Newton had a great first game. He had a touchdown out of the Wildcat. He had another couple big runs, but I need to see more, and I need to see more against different competition. Salvan Ahmed dancing in the backfield a lot, ended up with a lot of negative plays out there, to be perfectly honest. But we've seen Ahmed before. We know he's a good player. Kamari Pleasant got a little bit of burn as the game went on. Sean McGrew got a little bit of play later on. Malik Braxton got some garbage time. So we have backs who I like, but they a lot of them need to prove it. Like Richard Newton just got here. I need to see him do it against a real good team. But a lot of potential in that backfield without Gaskin back there. So I definitely like seeing that. And for an offense that lost some pieces that lost their two, you know, most well-known pieces in the draft. Although I guess, Browning didn't get drafted, but we did lose him. About as good as you could hope for. Offensive line, they had one injury up there, which was not great, but they played fine. They only lost one guy from last year, so you certainly expect him to hold it together well. And yeah, offensively, not perfect, but as good as you could hope for in week one when you're working new quarterbacks in. Defense, we lost a lot of stuff from defense last year, and for the most part today, we didn't feel it. We gave up the one touchdown drive right before the half, where there was a missed tackle, there was a missed assignment, there was a bad angle taken, but for the most part, Eastern Washington, they were able to move the ball a little bit, but when we needed to get pressure on third and fourth down, we were able to get pressure. When we needed to get a stop, it seemed like we were pretty reliably able to generate a way to make a stop. The only thing on this defense that I'm a little concerned about would be the pass rush. We were able to generate some when we blitzed on third down and fourth down and stuff like that, but on a play-to-play basis, it felt I don't know how we're going to replace some of the production that we got from, the defensive players we've lost over the past 3 years, even, I would say, because it's just been a big talent drain, and last year was a big one. No more Ben Burkervin. A couple years ago, we lost Vita Vey. We lost Taylor Rapp to the pros. I think there's a couple other guys in the secondary that we lost. Kevin King a couple years ago. But it's just like, it's really starting to mount to the point where, like, who are these guys? And other than Bryant, the superstar defensive back, I'm going to have to learn which of these guys I can really depend on. And you did see a couple of hiccups here today. We did give up a couple plays. We gave up a couple of, you know, where we just let Barrier get out of the pocket and make a play on the run with his arm or with his legs. And Andrew Boston beat up our secondary a little bit. He had the one long touchdown. He had the couple other big catches. But for a defense that lost as much as we did from last season, I guess that's about as good as you could hope for. I mean, Eastern Washington's offense should be okay this year. We didn't play a terrible offense out there. But we're going to learn a lot more going into future games. We're obviously going to have to eventually play, teams like Oregon. I don't know if we play Stanford today. Speaking of which, I'm watching Stanford over here. I don't know if I want them to win or lose or not. They don't look that good. I'll say that much. But yeah, 47-14 was pretty much a done deal after about 10 minutes. And I can't complain about really anything I saw out there, but we're going to have to see more to have an idea of what kind of season we're going to have, because I don't know what it's going to be. I really don't. I didn't even make a pregame video or a preseason video for this season because I don't know. But after today, I'm trending a little more in the positive direction. Okay, so one more video probably coming later today, maybe tomorrow, about the cuts, because I know we're going to get down to 53 possibly in the next hour. And I definitely want to comment on that because there's going to be some interesting stuff that happens. But I'm going to go get ready to watch the Oregon Auburn game and maybe watch the Cougars tonight. And I'll see y'all then. Peace.